Yes, guys. Yes, people. Welcome back to Chelsea Fan TV. Welcome back to another transfer update show for you guys. Plenty of topics to get into in today's video. Links that I didn't even expect us to be linked with. We're going to be going into the Jong situation. Again, there's small updates there. We're going to be talking about Hakim Ziyech and a potential link back to Ten Hag at Manchester United. We're going to talk about this Cucurella situation. We got the here we go, and then it got taken back, and then Brighton said the deal ain't been completed, and everyone was panicking. Lots to get into in the Cucurella situation, and links with Aubameyang, and a return back to London, but to the blue side of London. Didn't expect to see this one coming, but we'll discuss that too. We're going to round things off with Fofana, with Chelsea dropping their first bid for Wesley Fofana for the Leicester City centre-back. And yeah, plenty to get into in today's video. So guys, before we start, if you guys haven't pressed the like button already, what are you guys doing? Hit that like button. Let's try and get to 500 likes. The more likes that you guys press means the more this video gets pushed up in the algorithm, the more Chelsea fans that get to see it, and the more this channel gets to blow. So big up everyone who's in here. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification button as well to be the first to know whenever we release any new content on this channel. And let's get straight into it. We'll start off with the Hakim Ziyech situation, because it's been rumoured that he is now a priority target for Erik Ten Hag, and I'm not really surprised by that. Like, he absolutely balled out under Ten Hag at Ajax. I see no reason why Ten Hag wouldn't want to bring him in. It's a player that he's comfortable with. He's a player that he knows how to get the best out of. But for us, makes absolutely no sense. Like, I get we need to see Hakim Ziyech off to another club, and I'm okay with that too. He doesn't want to be here. He doesn't really fit the system unless we play a 4 at the back. I've got no issues with letting him go. And I don't even think he's a bad player. I just don't think he suits us. And it is what it is on that front. But we're not even too sure about our top 4 status yet. Other fans aren't really assured of our top 4 status yet. So with that in mind, why would we even consider strengthening a rival? Now, if we were to swap with a certain CR7... I do think I'd be a bit more keen on this sort of deal. But that is the only way that I would be okay with it, if we got another player coming in the other way that would benefit Chelsea too. And there's not a lot of players in that United squad I would take, realistically as well. So unless Ronaldo's being involved in this sort of deal, I am not interested. And I don't think Chelsea should be. And I don't think Chelsea would be either. It wouldn't make any sense for us to go in for this sort of deal, because all we're doing is strengthening our rivals. And unless another player's coming the other way, we're not doing anything on our front. We still need to get forwards in ourselves. So for me, Hakim Ziyech to Manchester United is a no, unless maybe Cristiano Ronaldo comes across in the other way. But let me know you guys' thoughts down in the comment section below. But I don't think we're all going to be in a disagreement here. There's no reason for us to let Ziyech go to United. Doesn't benefit us at all, and it just benefits our rivals. So not interested in that at all. We'll go into the De Jong situation as well, because there's not really a lot of updates here. But De Jong's agent is scheduled to meet Barcelona today. Chelsea are the front runners, and he appears to favour a move to London, which is, again, a lot of things that we already know. But at least De Jong's agents are in for more talks with Barcelona. We already know the stance with Barca. They want De Jong to leave, but De Jong wants to get the 17 million that he's owed before he considers leaving. Now, for me, if Barca were to lower their valuation of the player and then use the 17 million pounds out of that to pay the player, it would make a lot more sense, because then they would be able to sell him off and we would be able to bring him in. But other than that, like, I don't know how this gets solved, at least immediately, because they're at an impasse. Barca can't afford to pay him his wages. Barca also need to get him off the books because they want to get Bernardo Silva in. And for Chelsea, like, we want De Jong, but we're not going to sit here and force it. He has to want to leave first, and then we're going to go in for it, because we can't be bothered to get dragged into another bidding war. If other clubs see that Chelsea have dropped a bid, United will drop a bid, and then maybe someone else will pop in out of nowhere. If we want to do this deal, we want to do it quickly. So De Jong has to be the one to push to leave first. Now, again, I'm all for it. As a player, his technical quality speaks for itself. He gives us incisive passing from midfield, and he strengthens us, weakens City, because Bernardo Silva would be going the other way, and it makes the United look like even more of a laughingstock. So it's a brilliant move for us overall, but it all depends on De Jong. So until then, there isn't going to be much movement on that front. But That's all on the De Jong front. Now, let's get into the juicier stuff. Let's start off with Wesley Fofana, and Chelsea have submitted a £60 million bid for Fofana, but this has been rejected. Leicester City won 80 million. Chelsea are hoping for a 70 million agreement, but Fofana is very keen on joining. Sources also said Leicester's leaders immediately replied to Chelsea's bid, and the offer was refused without even trying to raise the bid from the club. They are officially not selling, but they are leaving the door open for Chelsea to meet their valuation. Fofana wants to join Chelsea. He's a Chelsea fan and he wants to increase his chances of playing in the World Cup, and he thinks joining a bigger club in the Champions League would be able to do that. And Tuchel is convinced by Fofana's potential, even though he has been recovering for much of last season. But he did come back towards the end of the season. Leicester City's form improved and he didn't skip a beat in terms of his own individual performances. The next few days will tell. But it's rumoured that two other big clubs are monitoring Fofana's situation, those two clubs being PSG and Manchester City. And I'm not too worried about the pair of them. Like, Man City already have their backline all sorted. I don't think they're going to spend 80 million on another player in that team. And PSG doesn't really make too much sense either. PSG couldn't even... They were haggling over Skriniar a couple days ago. So if they are haggling over Skriniar, who's around 60 million... they're not going to be able to get Fofana for 80 million, and they're just going to try haggle over that price tag as well. So it is just Chelsea in this race by themselves. And I am confident that we can get this deal across the line because we've actually put in a first bid, which shows incentive. It shows a willingness that they will pay the amount that Leicester asks if it does get to that point. I did see as well that Brendan Rodgers is a huge fan of Hudson-Odoi, and the swap deal for Fofana isn't that likely, but it could be two separate deals. And if that means we can lower it to £70 million, or potentially even around 65, then that's brilliant business from Chelsea. Hudson-Odoi's greatest assist in a Chelsea shirt as well, bringing us Fofana and going the other way. I would like to see Hudson-Odoi more on a loan or with an option to buy, but like, I'm at the phase with him where if we end up selling him, it's understandable and I get it. So I'm not too fussed if he ends up going the other way. Plus, we need to sort out our backline first and foremost. For me, if Fofana comes in, as well as Cucurella, top four is sorted. All we have to do is sort out our backline and then we can work from there. We will have enough up top to be able to contend for top four, or even top three, and we'll be fine on that front. Because Tottenham and Arsenal have strengthened, but they haven't strengthened that much that they're unstoppable. They are easily catchable. We just need to strengthen up ourselves. So as long as Cucurella comes in and Fofana, we'll be fine. And even with that, another forward's likely to come into as well. And speaking of another forward, that segues perfectly into the Aubameyang links. And I did not expect this. Chelsea are interested in Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, as Fabrizio reported. Aubameyang and Tuchel enjoyed a good relationship at Dortmund, and Tuchel still appreciates the player. A move for Ronaldo late on can't be ruled out also, and Chelsea have considered it. And I get it, Tuchel likes him from his Dortmund days, and there's been a general consensus since we heard about this that, Aubameyang's washed, why are we getting him? It's not really the case. Like, Barcelona fans, from all I've seen, they don't want Aubameyang to go, and they think he's done really well for them in the short time that he's spent there. At Arsenal, he was an absolute beast. Yeah, he ended it poorly, but Arteta was playing him out of position in a completely different role. And if you feed him chances, he scores you goals. He can play on the wing, he can play up front. He's better than what we have up front. I know that's not saying much, but the point still stands. And I also think this could be a relatively cheap deal as well for us. Also, another Arsenal player that could succeed at Chelsea, which is beautiful. And you already know the trolling and everything that's going to come with that. It's not a bad move. It's really not a bad move. Initially, I saw this, I thought, why are we in for Aubameyang? But the more you look at it, it's not a bad move for Chelsea. And if he comes in, I'm fine with it. It's a good stopgap for the next year or two, and he will get us goals. The only thing I will say is, how are we saying no to Ronaldo, but we're saying yes to Aubameyang? Because they're both very similar in the aspect that they're both more poachers and they rely on their movement and their good finishing. It's just, Ronaldo, to me, is just a much better finisher than Aubameyang. You could easily go for one or the other, but I get the ego issue with Ronaldo as well. So if Tuchel doesn't want that in his dressing room, I understand it. But you could go for either or. And I know Ronaldo's twerking for any Champions League club too. So let me know you guys' thoughts down in the comment section below. I'm happy with Aubameyang. I'm happy with Ronaldo. Just get me a goal scorer. Get me a goal scorer. I will not complain. That's all that I'm asking for. Last but not least, we'll talk about the Cucurella situation, because this was just an absolute mess. And the good thing is I'm talking about this now and I'm not talking about this yesterday. Because if I was talking about this yesterday when it just dropped, I would have been panicking just like everybody else. But now we can look at it from a calmer perspective. It's not as bad as it sounds. Like, Cucurella got given the here we go. Fabrizio said full agreement in place with Chelsea and Brighton for more than £50 million. I think it's about £52 million. And Levi Colwill is on the verge of joining Brighton soon. Personal terms already agreed. No way for Manchester City. Cucurella will become Chelsea's new signing, and it is done. And then Brighton came out of nowhere and denied it all. Said contrary to inaccurate reports from numerous media outlets this evening, no agreement has been reached with any club to sell Marc Cucurella. Now, Mark, I did see all of this, and I'll be real, I saw Gerard Romero drop a quote saying Barca are linked with someone, but if I say it, there'll be a tsunami. And I thought, seriously, are we getting hijacked again by Barcelona? But no, this is not the case. It's not the case, and we don't have to worry too much. This deal is only going to be announced once Colwill to Brighton becomes closer or confirmed. And all they want is for Colwill to be at the same position before they give the go-ahead for Cucurella to Chelsea to happen. So all that really happened is Fabrizio jumped the gun a little bit. But I don't blame him, because everyone's calling him a tap-in merchant. So he's like, all right, cool, I ain't going to tap in this one. I'm going to go from long range. And he's not wrong either. Cucurella to Chelsea is basically done. All that needs to be done is a medical. Personal terms have been agreed, a fee's been agreed. All that needs to be done is a medical, and for Colwill to go the other way. And once that's done, both signings will be announced. Cucurella will be a Chelsea player. Colwill will be a Brighton player. I think there's going to be they're buying him for 20 to 25 million, and the buyout clause is about 40 to 45. So if we buy him back, it's only going to be 20 million either. So it's brilliant business from Chelsea. Absolutely brilliant business. And no reason to worry as well. So guys, calma. Cucurella will be a Chelsea player, and Colwill will go the other way, and we're all fine. It is what it is. No reason to panic. But guys, lots of news to get into today. Let me know you guys' thoughts down in the comment section below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Chelsea Fan TV. Check out my personal channel down in the description below, Carefree Lewis G. Be live again at 2:30 tonight. Well, today. And yeah, take care, like and subscribe. And as always, up the Chelsea.